You may be seated. Mr. Levine, state's next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Robert Walantas.
Got this way, please. Can you read your right hand?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Judge.
Mr. Levine.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Walantas. May you please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your name for the record?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. My name is Robert Walantas. Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, Walantas, W-A-L-A-N-T-A-S.
181 says Continental Divide.
It is. That's in eastern New Mexico.
And then,
I'm holding up the other side of the sign.
all right. Did the sign fall down or not?
We held it in place. Kathy and I did a good job that day.
All right. What about 183?
That is Kathy with a huge log of petrified forest. And that is the largest meteorite, or a piece of the meteor, that impacted in Arizona.
And then final photograph?
That is my birth mother, and Kathy and I. So we have 3 generations there. That was for her 90th birthday.
All right. Now, Mr. Walantas, when the defendant moved back to Florida to live with Kathy, was Kathy happy about that?
She was thrilled.
Now, during the time period when, since then, when he moved back to Florida and lived with her, did she try to make up for lost time?
She did.
And what were some of the activities that she and your grandson would do?
They had to catch up on 3 years of school. Colin was 3 years behind. And then they also caught up on the 4th year. So he got 4 years of education done in a single year. That's a huge accomplishment. They went to Australia, Central America, the Caribbean. She wanted to give him...
Sustained. Sustained.
Now, Mr. Walantas, what was your daughter's profession?
She was a teacher.
And what subject matter did she teach?
Mainly English, but she would do other humanities as well.
Now, tell briefly to the jury about your relationship with your grandson. Did you have a relationship with the defendant?
We would talk on the phone, but I'm not a helicopter parent. I was there to support him and to support Kathy and to love them and be there for them.
Based upon your personal observations, did it appear that the defendant trusted you and would talk to you and confide in you about certain things, grandfather, grandson topics?
Yes.
Did there come a time when the defendant said something to you that was very disturbing to you?
Yes.
Tell the jury about what the defendant said to you.
My grandson was very aggravated at his grandmother and his mother. He said, "I am so tired of these 2 bitches. I'm disgusted." He said, "My mom, I keep thinking over and over, I want to slit her throat. I want her to bleed out. I want to smell the blood. I want to feel the blood. I want to feel the life and the blood leaving her body."
Now, when he said that, what went through your mind?
I needed to take a deep breath and do what I could to discourage that thought, because thoughts become words, words become actions.
What did you say to him in response?
I said, Colin, I love you, buddy, but you can't have those kinds of thoughts and focus on them and then speak them, because you will cause them to become reality. Please think positive things about your mom, about yourself, and about a good future together.
Now, at any point, did you warn your daughter about what the defendant was wanting to do to her?
I did, but I did not use the exact words because there was so much malice.
Objection, Judge.
Sustained.
Now, explain to the jury, were you concerned that if you used the exact words the defendant said that he wanted to do to his mom, that might negatively affect their mother-son relationship?
It would, and I was afraid it would actually give her nightmares.
Did you tell her a clean version or a more vanilla version, if you will?
Yes, I did.
What was her response?
That he's been threatening her, and he's been threatening Susan multiple times with killing both of them.
Now, knowing that, though, did she still want him in the household and wanted to keep having the relationship with him?
Yes.
Mr. Walantas, I don't have any other questions for you.
Thank you. Cross.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Mr. Walantas, you didn't come to Kathy's funeral, did you?
No.
Can you explain why?
The funeral for a person is for those left behind. I will see Kathy in my thoughts, in my mind. That's where I want to keep her. Attending a funeral where her body is placed in the ground, that's not Kathy. Kathy's spirit is elsewhere. The essence of Kathy is elsewhere. She's with me. She's here in this room today with each of you. She can speak to you. She can speak to me.
Mr. Walantas,
Ma'am?
I asked whether you went to the funeral and why. Just answer that question, please.
You interrupted me as I was explaining why. That you don't like my response, ma'am, that's your problem.
Judge, would you please?
If you would avoid the commentary and you've asked the question.
I did ask the question, but then he's talking about her being present and speaking to the jury, which is non-responsive.
Sustained as to non-responsive. That portion.
Mr. Walantas, the pictures showed a trip that you took with Kathy. That was one trip, right?
That's correct.
Have you taken any such trips with any of your other children?
No.
Do you have memory problems, Mr. Walantas?
With what, ma'am?
Just in general.
Oh, sometimes I might think it was something that occurred a week ago, and it's actually a week and a half ago.
Okay. But that's the extent of your memory problems?
Usually, yes.
When was it that you say Colin told you that he wanted to slit his mother's throat?
I believe it was 4 months before she was murdered. It may have been before that.
And Judge, I'm going to ask that he be instructed not to use terms like that. That's for the jury to decide.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is up to you to decide whether or not there was a murder in this case. You'll disregard that, the use of that word.
Mr. Walantas, please tell us the month, if you remember, that Colin supposedly told you the things that you've shared with the jury today.
May
May of what year?
2024.
Okay. And how did he tell you? Was it over the phone or by text?
over the phone.
Okay. And what's your phone number?
505. This is being broadcast. I really don't want everybody calling me.
Would you shut the feed off, please, for just a moment? All right. Ms. Thorne?
Mr. Walantas, do you have any other phone numbers that Colin would have talked to you on?
No.
And you're certain that the phone call happened in May of 2024, aren't you? Because you said it happened shortly before the presidential debate where Joseph Biden had to later withdraw from the presidential race, correct?
It was before that. How much before that? Was it a month? Was it a month and a half? Could it have been 2 months? Sure.
You came to court here in Florida back on January 14th of 2025, correct?
Yes.
And you rose your right hand, swore to tell the truth.
Yes.
Do you remember being asked this question and giving this answer? Question. Now, did your grandson, Colin Griffith, then at some later time make some very disturbing statements to you about what he wanted to do to your daughter, his mom? Answer. A few weeks before the disappointing presidential debate in June, which we can all snicker about, Colin was telling me, and then it goes on to repeat what you said earlier, but
Yes.
you remember saying it was a few weeks before the debate.
Yes.
Did you ever call the police about this statement that you claim Colin made to you?
I called the police here, yes.
Oh, I meant at the time that he made it to you, so in May of 2024, or a few weeks before the debate.
No.
Let's talk about your call to the police in September of 2024. You found out from your son, John, that Kathy died, correct?
Yes.
He called you.
Yes.
At some point after John called you and told you that, you watched a press conference that was put on by Sheriff Grady Judd, correct?
Yes.
And you watched it in its entirety, right?
Yes.
And it was about 20 minutes long, if you remember.
About, yes.
And Sheriff Judd described in detail how Kathy died, right?
Yes.
And it was only after you watched that press conference that you took the initiative to call the police here.
Yes.
They didn't contact you as a close member of Kathy's family to get any information from you, did they?
Initially, no.
Right, you contacted them.
Correct.
So you inserted yourself into the situation.
Yes.
Oh, I know what I was going to ask, sorry. Mr. Walantas, how often would you say that you talk to your grandson Colin on the phone?
I don't know. Somewhere between once a week, every 2 weeks.
For what
3
period of
weeks.
time?
It's up to him.
No, up until when? Like over the months since he had been living in Florida with his mom, every week, every 2 weeks from...
Things dramatically decreased after we spoke at that time.
Okay. So you say that it decreased after you spoke with him in probably May of 2024, and he made this supposed statement to you.
Yes.
Did you text with him still or no?
There may have been some. I don't recall every text, every phone call exactly.
So, Mr. Walantas, can you explain why in Colin's phone records there are a total of 3 phone calls between you two from mid-2023 till September of 2024?
Yes, I can explain why.
Okay. Why?
Well, there's Colin's phone. Colin had an initial phone that his mom got for him. Then he got another phone number. And then often when Kathy would talk, she would then hand her phone to Colin, and we'd talk from there. So you have 3 different phones.
Oh, do you know what phone you talked to him on every week up until September of 2024?
On my phone, I
Right,
know that
the
much.
phone- the
Which
phone
one?
He was using.
He was on one of the 3.
But only 3 calls on the phone that we are all aware of.
No, there's 3 phones, ma'am, not just one.
The records we have. Sorry.
Objection, how do you know what the records do or don't say?
Sustained.
And you said that there may have been some text messages. So the text messages that are shown by the records indicate that there have been no text messages between you and Colin since Father's Day of 2023 when he texted you Happy Father's Day. Does that make sense?
Most everything was phone calls. There were some texts since then between one of the 2 of Colin's phones.
Do you know where Colin kept this mysterious other phone?
I don't know about a mysterious phone, ma'am. I said there were 2 different phones he had. He had one phone number, and then he got another phone number. And that was something that he and Kathy arranged.
And this is something that Kathy told you.
No. He had one phone number, and I put it in for Colin Griffith. Then he told me that he had another phone number. His mom got him a different phone. So I put that phone number in, and then Kathy's phone, so that's the 3 phones.
I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Levine.
Yeah, just read it. Mr. Walantas, the defense said that you inserted yourself into this situation. Do you recall that?
Yes.
You are the deceased victim's father, correct?
Yes, I am.
Did you insert yourself into anything voluntarily?
When Colin and I spoke about that disturbing phone call, I told him that if anything happened, I would be talking with people officially instead of being quiet.
And does it make sense that the murdered victim's father calls law enforcement?
Sustained.
Excuse me. Does it make sense that
Objection is calling for speculation.
Let me hear the question. Don't answer the question until I say so.
Yes, sir.
did it make sense that the deceased victim's father would contact law enforcement with important information as you did?
Sustained. That's for the jury to decide, Mr. Levine.
Now, when you called law enforcement on September 23rd of 2024, you told law enforcement the disturbing violent statement that the defendant made, correct?
I did.
I have nothing further.
Thank you. Is the witness released?
He is, Your Honor.
Ms. Thornhill?
I have no problem with it being released.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Levine, is there a witness that we can call up before a reasonable lunch hour?
Your Honor, there's going to be a witness from out of county that's available at 1 o'clock. The only other witness for today is Detective Peters.